Why am I in a YouTube video?
Hey, Moss. You okay?
Quite, just confused. Normally we only appear TikTok, so this is very odd.
What was it?
Don't worry about it. What's going on?
Oh, Mikey here was just telling us about his trip to Scotland.
I had wondered where he'd gone. Family vacation?
Yeah, it was really fun. I actually have cousins who live in western Scotland near Dort Castle, and they took us to Iona to visit Dunee, the Well of Youth. I hope I was saying that right. It's this adorable heart-shaped pool that was supposedly blessed by St. Bridget and has magical powers.
Like the Fountain of Youth? You drink the water and get eternal life or some shit?
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah, it didn't seem to work. I'm sure the waters are enchanted and magical somehow. You can't exist in a sacred spot like that for so long and not retain some magical properties.
I don't know. I've seen a few too many scams to take that at face value.
Yeah, I think I heard Bob say that the only way to get a tree or a well or whatever that grants other people immortality is to kill an immortal and use the bones to plant the tree or something.
Generally speaking,
in this universe. Yes, but that doesn't stop human imagination. I know exactly which pool you visited, Michael. I've been there myself. It is sacred, but won't grant you magical use.
Aw, why you gotta stomp on our fun?
Did they tell you the story of Bessie and Angus?
Who? I think you've got to narrow it down, boss. Those are the most generic Scottish names that I've ever heard.
They were an elderly couple who supposedly found this row and drank from it to pay rent on time.
Mood.
Did this happen last month?
No, some centuries ago.
Back then, the land was divided and owned by lairds, lords, and they sent men called factors to collect rent every month from their tenants, who tended to be crofters, farmers, fishermen. Now, Angus and Bessie were an elderly couple who didn't have any children or extended family to help with their duties, and as often happens among mortals, every year they were able to do less and less, the fruits of their labors growing smaller and smaller, until there finally came a day where they simply did not have the rent money.
Morning, I'm the laird's new factor. Your rent's due.
Well, good morning, young man. It's lovely to meet you. My wife just pulled some bread from the oven if you want to stay.
Look. You seem like a nice man and all, but I'm not here to make friends. I've got a lot of houses to hit today, so just give me the rent so I can be off.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have quite what we need right now. But if you give us a week or two, we should have enough. The old factor, I don't know if you met him, he always gave us a little extension and we always paid it.
Well, I'm not the old factor. I'll be back tomorrow. If you don't have the money by then, you'll be evicted.
Laggard.
Wow. People really don't change at all, huh?
History doesn't repeat, but it sure does rhyme. Well, as you can imagine, Bessie and Angus were beside themselves. They tried to think of a way to get the money on such short notice. What if we borrowed the money from our neighbors? We'd never be able to pay them back. And with this new factor being such a stickler, most of our neighbors are barely going to be able to pay their own rent, never mind ours. I could try selling my hair, like we did right after we got married.
Honey, you look excellent in silver, but your hair hasn't been red for a very long time. I might have an idea. When I was a boy, my mother stopped being able to have children.
Well, happens to all of us.
While my father's eyes were starting to wander because of it, so my mother decided to find the Well of Youth. She had heard that it was somewhere in the hills behind our house. It took her a few days, but she found it. Came back looking 20 years younger, and she was able to bear another child from my father. But she and the babe died in the birth. Don't you think perhaps that might have been God's punishment for going against his natural order?
You have a better idea?
No. Wait a minute. Hold up. Angus's mom turns herself into a young hot baddie and then goes back to the asshole who was going to cheat on her with a fresh young model. If he wasn't cheating already, she should have taken her shot at a new life and left him in the dust.
What? And leave her son alone with him?
No, take the kid with you. That's a lot harder than it sounds today, never mind the patriarchal hellscape of medieval Europe.
Whatever.
Anyway, Angus and Bessie set off immediately, hiking through the hills, which was not an easy feat given their age. It wasn't easy at my age. However, with a bit of perseverance, memory, and luck, they found it.
Look, Angus, it's a spring. Yeah. You think this is the spring? Well, there's really only one way to find out. All right. Lord knows I'm parched.
Tastes like well water. Honey, I'm gonna have a drink, and then you and I are gonna fuck like rabbits.
Wait. So, there's a natural well or fountain or whatever that magically grants youth, and it's just there? No one thought to put guards or some sort of castle around it? I mean, I'd guard that thing with my life and charge through the nose for access.
With a gift shop at the end.
Exactly. He gets it.
Yet another reason why I disbelieve the validity of this story. Yeah, the Spring of Healing was way better guarded.
Spring of what?
It's basically the same thing as the Well of Youth, except it's in a cave instead of out in the open. It was guarded 24/7 by a bunch of animals, lions, bears, wolves, vipers, what have you. And you needed a special cup to access the water. Possibly a precursor to the Holy Grail. It's hard to say. The only downside is that all the animals were asleep when the hero of the story came knocking.
So what'd the rent collector do when he came back?
Well, Angus, Bessie, open up. I'm here for rent.
Yes?
Oh, sorry, ma'am. I'm here for Bessie and Angus. Do I have the right house?
I'm Bessie.
Oh, hey there, Mr. Factor. I got the rent right here.
Ha ha, very funny. Did those two geezers hire you two to play a prank?
I thought you were here to collect rent, not make friends. Have a seat. We'll explain.
Oh my god, don't explain. Charge him for it. He's a fucking parasite. Him and his landlord.
Some things are not meant to be behind a price wall.
This is.
I have to agree with JC. If you're not careful with that, overpopulation will be a massive concern. Well, not if you're spreading to other realms. Fey realm, dragon realm, abyssal, celestial, eldritch. You know mortals never stay sane in the eldritch realm. They're barely sane in this realm. Anyway, so that's the story. I borrowed the rent money from our neighbors when we came back, since Bessie and I are now young enough to do the work that'll let us pay them back.
Uh-huh.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Where's he off to in a hurry?
I think I know. A few days later, a neighbor stopped by for a bit of gossip.
Oh, and that new factor? Oh, such an ass.
Ugh, I know. Well, I guess it's a good thing he's gone. Good riddance. Party?
Oh, you haven't heard? Oh, he was supposed to come to my place to collect rent yesterday and hasn't been by. No one's seen him in days.
Don't know if he keeled over or got snatched by fairies, but I say hallelujah.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for the bread and beer. I think we need to take another walk. Retracing their steps, the couple returned to the Well of Youth to find... Do we keep his old name, or...? No. Well, we'll give him a new one, along with some morals and manners.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. We're gonna give you some actual manners. Yes, we are.
The boy grew into an upstanding young man, although several neighbors did comment on his resemblance to the cruel factor.
Oh, sure, they comment on that and imply that Bessie's a whore,
but no one asks about the weirdly immortal couple living down the street? That's how the story goes.
Boo. I think it's adorable and admirable that Bessie and Angus had such humble goals. They just wanted to be able to make their rent.
I feel like drowning the landlord would have had better results.
You'd think so.
But it usually just causes more problems.